Good evening, Saints. I know I already been on today, but I couldn't resist. Y'all here? Baby dog. I don't want to run on my baby dog's tail. People, did y'all see the action today? Okay, so earlier today, I talked about this dude, calls himself Bishop Lamar Whitehead, right? We spoke about him in the situation where he has been laid down on his pulpit. Robbers have come in and robbed him in the middle of a Sunday service, right? Some people say it looks staged and phony. Some people say it looks like an insurance scam. Perhaps this stuff wasn't even real, but they're claiming $400,000. We don't know, right? But we know this man is hot. First he came on. He's been sitting at his desk since this thing occurred. Now remember, this thing occurred yesterday. And Mr. Whitehead, he says he's a bishop. I mean, I don't know the origins of that or who named him bishop. I don't know. He says he's a bishop. But he has been online he's been sitting at his desk all day. Now, first he comes on and he says now that he is offering a $50,000 reward for information on these people. Now, we talk about New York City here, a city who has been suffering, at least the poor people have been suffering under this COVID thing for the last 3 years, right? And you're throwing $50,000 out in the streets, right? But you don't want a conviction. You just want them to be caught gently, as he says, right? So he came on with that. Unfortunately now, sir, Mr. Whitehead, you're bringing an awful lot of attention onto yourself. And I don't know that that's the right thing to do. You're offering the $50,000, that's going to be trouble. More than one's going to claim it. You're going to get people shooting each other out there over this $50,000, right? But it brings the tension on you, sir, because people are wondering, wait a minute, he's driving a $350,000 Rolls Royce to work. He is dripping himself in $400,000 worth of jewelry. This is just what he had in one incident. We don't know what he got at his house. He's on here bragging today about other vehicles he's had. So not only a Rolls Royce, you're doing all this, and we see this basically a storefront church, right? And people will start to wonder, sir, where is all this damn money coming from, right? When you were busted, you were arrested. It was for fraud, right? Weren't you doing identity theft, fraud? That's a serious crime. You're not taking responsibility for the crime, but yet they held you in prison for something like 5 years. You were sentenced, I think, to 12 years. But just a few years back, you got out of prison. This is 15 years back. But people are going to start asking themselves, wait a minute. New York City is some of the most expensive real estate in the world. How are you getting out of prison and then you are real estate, you're in the real estate business, right? Now we know you have learned some tricks, things of the trade. Perhaps you can grow a bit, but that's a pretty fast growth for a man with a congregation your size. You said on your Sunday service you had 100 people, right? So you're bringing a lot of attention onto yourself, is what I'm saying. You're dripped in Gucci and Hermes and all this stuff all the time. Every time I see you, you have the appearance of a country pimp, right? There's no New York sophistication that I can see. But now he's angry. He's very angry, as a matter of fact. So he didn't gonna kick 50,000 out of his ass. And the people in New York, you know they serious. You're gonna tell these people, this with these youngsters, these gangbangers and shit, that you're gonna give them 50,000. They want that 50,000 in cash. They don't want to hear no story about when we go to trial and when we do this and when we do that, and I'm gonna raise the money. No, you telling people you're gonna give them 50,000 and they give up somebody, they want their money, right? So more drama assumed because you're operating out of your emotions, right? So people, hear what we gotta do. We got to listen to a little bit of this encounter between him and Larry Reid. This man is, Larry Reid is no longer in the church. He's not a pastor of a church, but he does commentary on the church community. Let's say it like that, right? So I saw what he initially said. It wasn't all that much, but they were laughing at his church, right? And this man is taking offense because he's saying that you're laughing because I got robbed. But it's because it's a very humiliating thing to be robbed, honey. I don't care what kind of a man particularly for men, right? A man who is an alpha male who is that vocal, it is particularly humiliating. I understand your pain, but you should have just went somewhere and sat down and talked to the detectives or the police officers instead of sitting over here on YouTube all day talking to us. So Larry Reid made what he considers an off-color joke about him laying on the floor, which is exactly what happened, sir. We saw it. Don't be ashamed. You're alive, right? You're alive still, but it's embarrassing because you're claiming that you took charge of your church and it was a matter of leadership and you led them so well. But we saw the moment the people came in the door, you laid on the ground. You laid prostrate on the ground in front of the podium. Now you didn't talk to nobody. You didn't say nothing. You said, and then you laid down. I mean, let him laugh. So what? People laugh. It's embarrassing for a day, but you're going to turn into something more than laughing for a day. And you might bring on the IRS. I'm not trying to drop it down on you. I'm just saying to you, you need to be quiet with all this shit. You're over here threatening people. You sound like you're in the beef sector. But I got to show y'all an example of what I'm talking about, at least. It's starting to spread pretty fast. I guess this took place on Instagram. I don't have Instagram, but it's already made its way onto YouTube now. So what the pastor has got to realize is he's going to be on social media. People are going to laugh and talk about you, right? I had a witch that came after a book that I just published last week. I've been working on that damn thing for a year, right? She didn't give a fuck. Right? You're going to have to deal with these demons. And the question is, how are you going to deal with them? Are you going to respond to them all? Particularly a silly ass joke about you laying on the ground, which is exactly what happened. Right? And so he also took offense because people saying that he had pins in his backdrop. Well, whether they were really clear physical pins or not, I'm not sure which person brought this up originally, but it's starting to circulate because that's what happens on social media. He's talking about stick pins. In other words, it was done very cheaply. It was just a banner stuck on a wall, right? Now, if I was this guy, Lamar Whitehead, I would have said, yeah, you're right. We're in a temporary location. This is just a storefront because we've bought a new church. We've bought land. It's a huge church. We're not ready to move into it, right? So yes, we just stuck something on the wall. It would have been just that done. But no, then you're gonna make a big deal out of them laughing at your church, right? But this is where you decided to broadcast from, and maybe instead of buying another pinky ring, you could have went down there and made yourself even a makeshift backdrop. I mean, a green screen. What does a green screen cost? Is it less than $200? The equipment you would need to broadcast that is probably already there at your church. So you were tacky and you got caught in it, and you just embarrassed, dude. But I think you're making a bigger thing out of this. There has to be, because I would ask myself, wait a minute, where is this dude getting all this goddamn money? Certainly not from this congregation, not with 100 people on a Sunday morning, right? And I was starting to wonder, wait a minute, you went to prison for stealing millions of dollars, stealing it. You still won't take responsibility for it, right? And then you come out, now you're a real estate mogul. Well, how did that happen? Surely them 100 people didn't give you enough money to buy real estate in New York City, of all places. Now, we know there's all kind of ways to do things. You know, usually takes more to build something like that than 10 years or so. I guess he's been in that business. I probably suspect less than 10 years because he was in prison 15 years ago. So when he got out, he was saved and all that. Maybe he was sharpening his preaching skills. I doubt that he got out of prison that day, went into business, right? So let's say he's been selling real estate for 8 or 9 years. How did that happen? Where do you get the money? You're bringing too much attention onto yourself is what I'm saying, sir. Okay, so let's hear a little bit of this. We're going to have just a little, we like to work with a little taste. We're claiming fair use here for the purposes of commentary. Come on. Come on, cheering.
You laughing at me? I don't even know you. And then Larry, you want to talk about? Hold on. And Larry, you want to sit here and talk about? Hold on. Larry, and you want to sit here and talk about that I spoke about homosexuality. Hold on, ma'am.
Listen.
Hold on one second. Nobody wants to talk to you, Biggie. Nobody wants to talk to you, Biggie. All right? No. Don't talk about women now. Don't talk about women because y'all laugh when Larry said about the judge and my daughter's face. Y'all laugh. That's what you did. Y'all laugh. That's what you did. And you want to talk about if that's really true. That's what you said, Larry, and y'all laughed. And what you did was you laid on your carpet.
Bruh. You are missing your diamonds. You got robbed and humiliated, right? People saw what the speed to which you fell on that floor. Now, a lot of people think that you fell on that floor being so cooperative that quickly, just kind of okay. The people didn't even tell you to lie on the floor. How did you know you're supposed to lie on the floor prostrate? How did you even know that? The man by the door didn't even react to it. I mean, this man who was standing by the door, I guess he's the security for the stage, or he is the armor bearer or whatever. He didn't even close his hymnal, right? But you're lying prostrate on the floor the moment they walk in the door. Usually people wait for a command before they start making sudden moves, right? But you're pissed off because you were humiliated and people laughing at you and making fun of you, and they're all going to laugh at you. Well, I'm sorry, that's part of this damn thing called the internet. If you're serious about your ministry, why don't you take your ministry into the church and build something? Because that shit you were representing there. Now I buy your explanation that maybe you have another facility that's on the way. Sometimes you got to move into a small place to begin. But it didn't look like that kind of place was producing the kind of income it would take to buy a city block in New York City or in Brooklyn, right? But somehow you're able to have that kind of money. Where does it come from? All I'm saying is you're talking too much. You talk too much. You never shut up. And then when you already have a history of being a scammer, I mean, it doesn't look all that great, brother. I'm telling you. And I also will say this. When I went into prison, I was sent to prison for shoplifting multiple times, granted, but I was just a shoplifter. When I came out, I was a drug dealer. You was in there for years. You meet so many people, what they would call connections. You meet more people in prison than you meet on the street. And so when you get out of prison, you know these people, right? So we don't think that your connections when you got out of prison to start a real estate business was Donald Trump, right? Let it go and let it pass. Give it a few days. So what if Larry Reid got a chuckle? A lot of people chuckled at you. They all laughing at you. It's a laughable thing. As long as nobody's been killed, they're going to laugh. That's what social media is, honey. Let's get a little bit more taste. And then I'm going to ask y'all how y'all think about it.
Laid on your carpet and pretended to be me. You're disrespectful, okay? You're disrespectful. And at the end of the day, Larry, at the end of the day, I respected you. And you want to talk about the LGBT community?
Come on, don't stop.
We had a conversation. And my position was that I preached the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ had no opinion at all on homosexuality. Why are you so obsessed with it? And then I went to some of your other videos for purposes of going to doing this video, and you are obsessed with homosexuality, right? And then you kind of trying to blame it on Jesus Christ. It's like Christ walked around talking about homosexuals. Did he even have a concept of what a homosexual? All we knew was about Sodom and Gomorrah and niggas raping goddamn angels. Is that gay? Is that what the gays do? We rape angels, and if we can't get a male angel, we rape a female angel. Isn't rape an act of violence? The kind of homosexuality you experience in the clinker would be the kind of homosexuality they're talking about in the Bible. Basically, an act of violence where you are stripping a man of his manhood. You are raping him. That's what it was all about. Y'all turned it into something else, got away with it for years, sir. So I want to hear what you have to say about the homosexual, because you're also exposing that you are raging a homophobe. So we don't have to be nice to you, is what that is. And if nothing else, if they got nothing else on social media, they have the homosexual. So they're gonna laugh at you more now. You're making it worse.
I'm not. If homosexuality is an abomination.
No, you're mean.
How is that? How is that Christian?
How am I mean? I'm not mean.
But did it take place in Leviticus? Wasn't that like 4,000 years before? Written by whoever wrote it, girl? I'm just saying, honey. You talking about Jesus Christ. You preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. What was that mentioned one time in the whole Bible? Did Paul mention it twice? But how would they even understand what a homosexual was, child? They were wiping their ass with leaves, but yet they had all power and all knowledge. I don't want to focus on that part of this boy's broken ass religion that he learned in prison. I want to get to a couple of other key things, though.
Hold on. You're mean. Because at the end of the day, y'all sitting here laughing at something that 4 gunmen could have took my family life, and y'all sitting here making a mockery of it, all right?
We are not.
This big blip right here want to sit here and...
Okay, you don't want nobody laughing at you. You feel like making a mockery of your situation, or these niggas came and robbed you. But yeah, you're calling that woman all kinds of whales and calling her a fat. Do you think I don't hurt her feelings? Even she said it doesn't hurt her feelings. You think it's not, but you are the nice one, right? You continually addressing this woman based only on her weight, like a child, or like the beef sector does, girl. This is what we do. You sound like you belong over here, right? But you're going to go into this homosexual thing. Hold on, man. I got to learn how to let things play for a while.
About women, all right? And you want to sit here and validate homosexuality because you just admitted that you're a faggot, all right? That's only... I
didn't I tell y'all?
Listen, let me turn it up some more.
No. Everybody understands the response. Everybody understands the response. All right? Understand the response. I treated you with nothing but respect. I treated you with nothing but respect. All right? And you are a foul individual.
You do not have the level of intelligence. You do not have the level of intelligence or self-control.
Who cares about your diamonds?
Who cares about your diamonds? Okay, there's several things going on here. First of all, you're talking about people being nice to your ass and how you got the utmost respect. Meanwhile, you just sent all the homosexuals to hell. You have no problem with it. Your understanding of scripture is weak at best. It's not studied, right? You have all these damn degrees on your back wall. When did you get them, girl? If you were building a real estate empire, when did you acquire all these degrees? Are these all prison degrees? And who taught it? Was there other inmates who taught you? Right? But you're saying that this man is disrespecting you. Meanwhile, you just called Larry Reid a faggot. And you're basing this on his confession that at one point he had been molested. So you're making fun of him being molested, but no one's supposed to make fun of you being robbed. Right? You were both victims. Should I take a break now? This is long, honey. Come on. This is good entertainment, baby. Mm-hmm.
That is not even true.
You just started making money. You just started making money.
And you got children and members.
At all. So you can go to Bishop Jordan and you can talk to Bishop Jordan. You can talk to Bishop Jordan and say, oh, I brought the bishop and I said, that ain't right. Let me tell you something, all right? Long as God got me, I don't need none of y'all. I don't need none of you. None of you. All right? None of you. All right? And at the end of the day, you violated, Larry. You violated. Y'all laughing about what happened in my church.
You making that up.
Listen,
you are a loose cannon, sir, and you're exposing to the world that you are a loose cannon. Shouldn't you be out there with the police? This is all in Brooklyn, right? I mean, surely there's information you could be discussing with the detectives who are working on your case and seeing what's going on with your case. No, you're on YouTube for hours and hours and hours about this damn thing that has sent you viral. Finally, it looks like you are a person who thirsts to go viral, right? The title of the banner I'm using for my new book is When Going Viral Means Everything. I've heard this man all day today challenging people. You want to go viral? Let's go viral. Let's go have a discussion online. I want to go online. I want to go. I thought you were just victimized yesterday. What's all this online shit? Shouldn't you rise up off of your ass? Shouldn't you be talking to your community? Since you said that you know all these gangsters and you have saved souls on the streets of Brooklyn, couldn't you do a job out there finding out who robbed you, asking questions of somebody? But no, you want to be online, and that brings more suspicion on you, sir. It brings more suspicion upon you, right? Surely this stuff is, if it's an insurance scam, what you're going to do is you're going to bring these investigators to look closely at what occurred there before they hand you a check for $400,000, particularly with your background, right? We don't know your full background, but we can say that, well, this is the time he got caught. Okay, let me take a break. How y'all doing today, tonight? Y'all been watching the drama? Lord have mercy. Whenever there's nothing going on, baby. And now the church people acting bad as us, girl. Hey, how y'all doing, saints? Saints and ain'ts. Hey, Shakira, Marissa Shelto, Cheryl Burnett, Annette 75, Peter Pablo. How you doing? Bishop. Well, we can discuss that too, but we don't know what his affiliation is, but those affiliations, I mean, if you got 20 people and y'all call yourself a church, y'all can make somebody a bishop. It's the truth. They might have made him a bishop in the storefront. We don't know. I know he said he has a whole block. How you gonna fill a whole block with 100 people? The proof is in the numbers, honey. Right? And believe me, sir, people are gonna start looking into this fortune you've amassed. Right? A few gold tacky chains is not going to be your primary issue. Your primary issue is going to be explaining properties worth millions of dollars. Because if you have a whole city block, that means you had to clear that block. That means you had to buy out everybody on the block. And I'm just not seeing it from your congregation. And for you to put something so tacky up in front of people when you know your show is broadcast everywhere, certainly around New York City, for you to do that, it tells me that you don't have a big influx of cash coming in there, girl. Even if they all gave 10%, what would that be? 100,000 property in New York City, baby. Property in San Francisco. You go to buy a house, you don't even get the whole house for $1 million. You get one floor on the house. They call them flats. You say, "Oh, that house is nice. I can afford it. I can stretch. The family can stretch and buy that house. That's $1 million. $1 million? No, honey. The property is $3 or $4 or $5 million. You're only buying a flat, tenants in common. So if it's that way here, I know it's that way there. Now you're talking about clearing out a whole block in Brooklyn. Brooklyn ain't cheap no more. That shit's over. You was in prison. So how the hell you accumulate all this damn property? Be quiet, sir. Shut up and let it pass. Anyway, we don't even know if the damn church is a scam to not pay taxes. We don't know anything about that stuff. We're exposing this person for who he is, though. So he calls Larry Reid a faggot is the word he used. I saw and I watched 3 other videos of his today. Each one of them accusing somebody of being a homosexual. He accused the politicians of being in New York City, all homosexuals. He's accused. Everything has got to be wrapped around homosexual. So some people would even ask, what happened in that prison? You were there for 5 years, right? Now, they still have homophobes in prison, people who are miserable, in the pen. But we have to ask, what did happen? Why are you so angry at homosexual people? Your time is past, sir. You are old-time preacher, and you can't even impress the other pastors and preachers and teachers. Apparently, it looks like nobody wants to have anything to do with you. All you want to do is compare cars and diamonds. I mean, why are you over here with Larry Reid? He's in town, and you want to compare trucks and Rolls Royces? Sir, you're walking around with all that shit around your neck. Somebody robbed you. Accept it. We would hope that you're not dumb enough to be having all that shit and not have insurance on it. We're also hoping that the jewelry that you're talking about, they robbed, you had the number pretty handy, because you immediately came out with the number $400,000. Now, did you go over to your wife and then calculate how much her ring costs, or because there was no time for going through insurance papers or anything like that? Did you calculate the price of each one of those tacky chains you have on there? Is that how you came up with that number? Because why did you have the 400,000 so handy? Most people would have to go through the insurance documents or the receipts for the original jewelry to come up with a number, right? And then you don't get the price that you paid for the shit. Baby, this ain't the old days. You don't get that price. You're getting a fraction of that price. So it would be a hell of a insurance scam, to tell you the truth. Anyway, the boy is upset. He is not in control of his emotions. He's very volatile. He came on here talking about his ex-wife and his situation with his ex-wife. There again, more information, unnecessary talking. You're on here telling us that your wife accused you of touching your son. Now here we go with the homosexuality again. Now, I'm not saying, I mean, that happens in divorce all the time. And then she accused you of having sex with your daughter. Now, why would you want all these people to know that this woman has said these things? If there's no truth to them, what's the point of them knowing it? Right? You can't stop talking. You're too flashy. You're too loud. Spend your time in study. If you don't have any kind of real certification or real degree, go and get it. Right? So then you're not walking around New York City like a clown. Now, as far as this situation, apparently he got popular because he's friendly with the mayor. I'll tell you something, people. If you are brought up in a gang in the projects, and that's your best friend in the projects, you still have relationship with that person. So it is not unusual for you. If you knew Beyonce when you were little girls, you still know Beyonce, right? So it ain't like you went to a fancy dinner and met the mayor, and because your plans for the city were so outrageous and so good that y'all became good friends. No, you know him because you were probably raised with him. We're talking about Brooklyn. It's a big place, but it ain't that big. You can know anybody. Somebody knew Barack Obama. Somebody knew him, right? Anyway, did we finish that up? Let's see.
Larry, you ain't built like that, all right? You're an old sucker. You ain't built like that. And
I'm not built like
right
what?
here,
You say you respected Larry Reid. Why you call him an old sucker? But you won't respect, and you don't want nobody laughing at you. Okay. Listen,
and my daughter and my father and my family, you're a blimp. You're a fat blimp, all right? And at the end of the day, let me tell you this, right? My family and my church could have got killed. My family and my church could have got killed.
And your diamonds could have been taken, and your rings, and all the things that you hold in such high esteem were taken. That's what you're mad about, sir. It ain't about them pointing the gun at the baby. It's not about that. It's about you got robbed and humiliated. And now you have your whole city, because you know how these alpha males are. They're going to be laughing. If you got the whole city laughing at you by how fast you hit that ground. So when Larry Reid crawled on the ground and looked up, it touched your soul, right? Because that's not the way you want to be presented, right? Prison life, street life is all about your image, about being tough. And you appear to be weak, right? You didn't even wait for the command. They came through the door, you hit the ground. Nobody's supposed to laugh at it. But we're supposed to laugh at this dude's molestation. And we're supposed to laugh at this woman, her weight. That's cool. And we're supposed to laugh at the homosexuals because they're going to hell. But you say you have the utmost respect. Okay.
And y'all sitting here laughing about it.
They're all going to laugh at you.
And y'all were not foul. You're foul. Larry Reid, I treated you with nothing but respect when you came to my town. Nothing but respect. All right?
I was at my bishop house.
No, I'm talking about in New York City. I treat you with nothing but respect. Nothing but respect.
This is him and Larry Reid arguing.
I spoke about you, and I actually defended you when people talked about you. I said, I don't get that experience from the brother. The brother's cool with me. All right? But you want to know what? You showed your face, and you allow money to drive you. You talk about everybody, and you talked about me.
Oh,
and
I ain't talking about you.
You talked about. I listened to you.
Now your video is on CNN and everywhere.
You talk. He said he told Larry Reid that he talks about he's obsessed with money. Money controls him, right? Meanwhile, he's driving around Brooklyn, and a guy, you know, they don't drive cars like that on the East Coast. It's just not. It's not the big thing. It's more of an LA thing, right? You driving around with $400,000 around your neck, child, in a Rolls Royce, bragging about how much property you own, bragging about you got a whole city block in Brooklyn, but he's obsessed with money. I just don't understand it, people. What these people think. This boy, he's hurt, but you don't let him see you sweat. Okay, Whitehead, listen to me. You never let them see you sweat. When they see how upset you are and how scary you are by not getting out there and finding the people, that draws the wrong kind of attention on you, right? It makes you look like a coward. They say, well, God damn, look how fast he hit the ground, right? Street people pick up on all that kind of shit, and you know it, honey, right? So my suggestion is you just go somewhere and sit down. Go and take a trip to Jersey, honey, and just go there, lay on the beach for a few days and close your mouth, right? And if there really is a police investigation, you know people going to talk. If you have anything to do with this, child, believe me, people going to talk. You got 3 people. You always do your dirt alone. So we'll see about all that. But I do think it's suspicious the way you came up with that damn number so quick. And now they say that you jacked the number up from 400,000 missing to now it's $1 million. Now this was reported by a news program. Are you changing the claim now from $400,000 when you realized, oh, I could get more, and now you changing the number to $1 million? Now is the next move to raise the money from the congregation? Because I don't think that congregation can do that much. From this, you said you had 100 people there on a Sunday morning. Your congregation can get PG&E and the light bill. Well, PG&E is part of it. PG&E and maybe the water bill. That's all you get. It's all you can pull out of there. Now, unless all you have 50 or 60,000 people waiting for this new church, I don't see you getting it out of there. Which brings back the question: where's the money coming from? Right? There are multi-millionaires all over New York City who can't buy city blocks in Brooklyn. Particularly not from let's face it, a guy like you're showing up with what you got. First, and it's on this gay thing. Brother, pay attention. If you're gonna come on here with all this homophobic country ass shit, don't you think you shouldn't be? Do you really believe you should be sitting up there with pink glasses on and a great big ass pink shirt? I mean, which men are wearing great big pink, fuchsia shirts with pink glasses on? There's so many different images coming, brother. But I don't want to be beat up on you. You're a hurt person. You're a humiliated person. You're an embarrassed person, right? Now, I don't know. I'm not going to belabor this, but I'm going to say this. You said that you had these people on camera, and you said you had their vehicle on camera, which would also include probably the license plates as they're pulling away, right? You said they have information that we don't even know about, right? You said you chased them. This bravado thing, You said you chased them, so you know their body type. You chased them after they changed their clothes. You saw them change the clothes in the car, and then you saw them running. You were running behind them. You wouldn't have seen the front, but you could gather their age and so forth. It shouldn't take very long for you to figure out who these people are. I mean, you do have police officers there on that case, I would assume, right? So why would you have to offer them $50,000? Huh? $50,000 for what? If you have all this evidence already, it makes no sense for you to come up with $50,000. Right? Again, drawing attention to where is this money coming from? All right, lovely daughters. I done run my mouth enough. It done got hot in her. Yes, they could have been killed just because you lied and had it set up. Ooh, Robin Love. Robin Love said, yes, they could have been killed just because you lied and had it set up. I know that man by that door was not impressed. That brother did not even close his hymn book. And he's the one right next to the stage. Surely he has knowledge. If anybody else knows about a scam, they turning your ass in. I'll tell you that right now. When it gets heat, baby, everybody's talking, oh, I don't snitch. I don't snitch. Snitches get this. Child, when they start hitting them with them 10 and 15 and 20 years, believe me, they're giving your ass up. So let's hope you're not involved in it. And this 50,000 is not some desperate ploy to get attention from your ass. And somebody says insurance payout. Somebody said, This world is going to hell in a handbasket. And he worried about who gay. Nigga, you just doing hard time for ripping people off and stealing their identities, and you worried about who's sucking whose dick? I'm just saying, honey. They're going to burn in the lake of fire, but your ass going to get away? Identity theft, fastest growing crime in the United States of America. You're doing it for millions of dollars. You get out, now you are a real estate mogul, a black man. The underground world has connections to buy a bishop's ring. Come on, you got the whole city looking for this stuff. It's all over the news everywhere. Girl, nobody want that shit. They're gonna nickel and dime them like they do most street crooks, street thugs, right? They got to take the stone out of the damn ring because the ring is worthless. They're called fences, Sheba. These street thugs don't know about no damn fences, child. Look like they all of them are skinny. The ones that came in there, they look like teenagers, probably. He says that's the ones he worked with, right? Baby, in the streets, it's never the ones you know that come for you. All they got to do is say, here he is. The chains are underneath his clothes. Yes, here's his car, whatever. They give you up, right? One of these youngsters you're supposed to be working with, they love you so much, they respect you so much, just dropped a dime on your ass. Or somebody in the congregation. It might be Miss Mabel, her grandson. Just came to church one time. Look at this fool. Right? They do it to the rappers. They got guns. This sounds a little like the Empire, the actor from Empire, Jesse Smollett. Is he pulling a Smollett? Lord, we don't know what situation that boy is in. All we keep hearing is that he's a real estate mogul. I'm trying to figure out how the hell you're a real estate mogul in Brooklyn. That's a major success. If you're doing that, I would think you'd be walking around in normal clothes, looking like a normal businessman, right? Not like a country pimp. You're going to get them people investigating and looking into your life, dude. I value you to shut the hell up. He looked greedy enough. They locked his ass up. Ain't got the nerve to be a homophobe. How you a homophobe and you're a criminal? And this public thing with your ex baby mama, preachers with baby mamas and all this shit. Why are you making that thing so public, right? You done blasted out all the details of your marriage and all this kind of shit. I mean, how professional is that? Then we see you're a hothead. We see the way you're talking to Larry Reid. You didn't cute, talked up under the man's clothes, talked up under the woman's clothes, calling her all kind of fat pig.
I was supposed to put your video out. You used to be telling me,
are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Because you think so Larry Reid got me on CNN, right? Larry Reid just
I know weed is legal.
I know weed is legal. I know weed is legal. I know weed is legal.
Don't they sound like the beef section?
You're not that strong, brother. You're not that strong.
You don't remember that?
You're not that strong, brother. You're not that strong, brother. Okay? I don't know who you think you are. And I understand you want to do this for your commercials.
You popped up here.
Okay,
you come over here.
Listen. I was already in the media before you even posted anything. I saw when you tagged me. Okay, I saw you when you tagged me. Larry, you're not that big, brother. You're not that big.
Okay.
You're not that big.
All right.
Not that big at all. Tell her stop calling me. I'm all right. Tell her stop calling me.
Who calling you, baby?
So
Wait a minute.
At the end of the day, Larry,
Wait a minute. His wife is calling him apparently. She's saying, baby, get offline. Get offline. People are saying they're sharing it. They're sharing it. They're laughing more. They're laughing more. He said, oh, tell her stop calling me. I'm all right. Tell her stop calling me. I relate because I get the same way myself.
And this woman who calls her a woman of God, she's foul. That's why. And that's why I violated the both of y'all. And I'm anytime you ready.
For what?
We can do a live, we can do whatever. Don't say and talk about my Bible. And you're gonna say, oh, and he talk about
I'm gonna say what I want to say.
And I'm gonna say what I want to say. And I'm gonna say what I want to say.
Disrespectful to you.
Yes, you was. Yes, you was.
You can't
Yes, you was. Yeah, you was. Yeah, you was disrespectful. Yeah, you was disrespectful. But you got the right one, brother.
You cannot take jokes. You cannot take jokes.
You don't jump when they make my family lie down. All right?
Wait a minute. They didn't make your family lie down. They made you lie down. And you hit that floor like it was magnets attached to it, bro. Accept responsibility for your own actions. Your family didn't lay down. You laid down, right? You're just hollering about putting the gun in the baby. What? How they gonna put the gun in the baby face? The baby don't know about no damn guns. You don't think it's a toy. That ain't the main thing. The main thing is they laid you down in your own church and took your shit. Deal with it.
Ain't nobody
put a gun to my daughter's face. You don't jump.
You don't jump.
You don't jump. You cross the line.
How would you see the gun in your baby's? Wait, hold on. I gotta ask this question. How in the hell did Brother Man, Whitehead, see the gun in his baby's face when from the moment the people came through the door, he was laying prostrate in the pulpit? In other words, he didn't see nothing that went on there. He couldn't tell you if there was 3 or 4 people. He said there was 3 or 4, right? So he don't even know how many people were in there. Why? Because his face was in the carpet, like Larry Reid described, child. So you couldn't have seen this gun in no baby's face because you didn't see anything. Everybody else was standing up. You're the only one on the ground. And why did you hit it so fast? Stop that, Queen Station. We like Larry Reid over here. Come on.
Cross the line.
Okay.
You crossed the line. Okay. That's what you did. You crossed the line.
Are you gonna kill him?
What
are you talking about, nigga?
They put that gun in my baby's face. We talked about that. No, and you joked about it. And you joked about it. You're a clown. I watched you.
Hold on. Genesis, he said we joked about the gun in the baby's face.
And talk about, and we didn't see that part. That's what he said.
We didn't see it.
And we didn't tell. He told the people to get out. When I moved the mic, the people heard what I said. I ain't got to lie.
We didn't hear it.
How was guess what? Guess what? Get a hearing aid. All right. Okay. And at the end of the day, you want to joke about certain things. You want to joke. You want to play. Don't play with me, Larry Reid.
Brother, you hit the. I told everybody get down. You can't argue with videotape, brother. Damn. Call the police station. See what the progress on the case is. Aren't those cases usually solved in the first 48? Shit. Why you got time for all this stuff?
You ain't tough. All right? You ain't tough.
You do not know me.
I don't care who. Let me tell you something, brother. All right? After what
you told me
today, I lost all respect for you. All respect.
I don't need your respect.
I bet you don't. You want to know why? Because you got a whole game. You beat up on a ministry and act like you helping a ministry. Woe unto you, brother.
Let me ask you this. How many hundreds of thousands of dollars have you given to ministries?
What? I don't care.
How many hundreds of thousands of dollars
no concern of mine.
How many people have you put in therapy?
Streets. Who do you help in the streets?
Hold on. How many houses have you paid for in the streets? I want to know that.
I paid a lot.
You can't compare to what I did.
I don't want to compare to you, brother. You can't.
So don't bring it up. Don't bring it up.
Trust me. You don't know what I do out here because I don't talk.
I got one read I want to hear. I want y'all to hear. So I promise you, I'm almost done.
Discuss it. But since we're discussing it, let's discuss it. Let's compare.
Compare what?
How many millions have you used to build the church outside of yourself?
Brother, what does that mean? I don't care about
You
what you're
brought
talking
it up.
about. I don't
You
care what
brought
you're
it up.
talking about. I don't care what you're talking
You
about.
brought it up.
What's important is my ministry. What's important is my ministry, okay? And let me tell you this. I'm going to get off this because
we're sorry that what happened to you happened. We're sorry
not physically,
of what
but I'm
happened.
bigger than a
We're
boat.
sorry.
And I'm going to tell you like this.
Listen to
You
me.
disrespected.
We
You
are
disrespected my family,
sorry
and you
that what
disrespected my
happened to
church.
you happened.
I don't accept your sorry. I forgive you.
Okay,
but
then
I
don't accept it. Goodbye.
because everybody know you
Don't
disrespected
accept
my
it.
church and you messed with the wrong one. Now you
He is not disrespecting your church. He is disrespecting you, brother. They're laughing at you. They're not laughing at your church. They're laughing at the decorations you put up, perhaps. But they're laughing at you. You were the one robbed, sir. It was you. You were the one face down on the goddamn carpet talking about how they putting the gun somewhere. They didn't have time. They were in and out, child. We saw them run on the stage and we saw them run away. The boy dropped the ring on the pavement. We could tell that it was a ring because it was a solid chunk, right? It sounded like a ring fell out of the man's pocket or his hand. He stopped to pick it back up, right? Aren't there fingerprints all over the goddamn place? I didn't see nobody wearing gloves. How hard is this case? Well, you got to come up with $50,000 now, right? You go playing with them people in Brooklyn about this 50 grand if you didn't promise it to them, child. You putting your own life in danger. You think you gonna run your mouth and bring them out? That ain't how it works. Not in the game. You've been away too long. All right, so they about done. I didn't get my read I wanted to hear.
And you can do whatever you want to do. But let me tell you this. I respected you. I respected you.
No, you didn't.
Do you respect me?
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't.
No,
I didn't.
It was very clear.
I'm very clear now because I heard how you talked about me and my church and my family when guns were put to my face. All right? When guns were put to my wife's face. All right? All right?
I understand. I understand you upset, but don't put stuff in my mouth I didn't say.
Yeah, all right. You're right. You're okay.
Here it comes.
Okay, let me tell you something. All we got to do is play it back and show everybody how I laid on the floor. Show everybody. Joke about it.
I did that. I did that. But you're not dead.
No problem.
Nobody was killed.
No problem.
You have to be able to take a joke. You were on the floor.
Don't nobody joke with my family like that, all right?
That ain't how this works. You can't be a public figure and then pick and choose. It's not people don't know.
All right, guy. All right. They were going to start talking about juggling balls in their jaws and all this. They're going to accuse each other of juggling balls in the jaws. Larry saying that he juggled them in prison, and he's saying that Larry juggled them somewhere else. I don't know, child. That boy reminds me of me, though, so I should relate. Forgive me, y'all who got bored. I know y'all probably already heard that stuff, child. A guilty conscience always speaks. Yeah, it's the loud ones, honey. What is this? This lady does protest too much. Yes, they could have been killed. Okay, I'm behind. Hold on. Follow the money. Baby, that little piece of congregation, 100 people, they're not buying no city blocks and building no new facility in Brooklyn, New York. Now, he doesn't impress me as somebody who's that kind of a real estate mogul. One would have to ask, where's the seed money coming from? If you can invest millions and millions and millions of dollars in real estate, where's it coming from? It ain't coming from that church. That's what I mean. Sometimes you talk too damn much, child. You're bringing unneeded attention on yourself because you're embarrassed. So now, if there's anybody in New York City who is not aware of the fact that you got robbed, they are certainly aware of it now. Why? Because you won't shut up. It could have been a one-day story. Playing church. God is exposing all of them. That's right, Robin Love. The man already said that he was a flim-flam man. Right? I haven't seen too many real estate agents here or abroad, honey, with all that stuff. Where you go show houses with all that stuff on, child. I'm gonna do business deals with pimps. Who would be your the people you're doing business with? I mean, seriously, You look like a street person. Whatever. Just pulling a spolet on us. But you're obvious. He said Larry was obsessed with money. I don't think that sounds very good coming out of your mouth, bro. Right? But he said he's gonna change the whole situation at his church. I thought you said you were moving out of the church. You 2 weeks from moving into this new church. Is there a new building we can see? Right? Because you're talking about clearing out blocks and so forth. You're talking about buying out each individual, whatever was there before. You know, these things could run into $1 billion. Here you tell it. Those poor people will barely get the light bill paid. Say they got a gas bill too. Telephone disconnect. Maybe the church is a front. He may be some kind of religious zealot. Something he learned. Maybe God helped him, you know. But you're misguided, bro. You need to take all that attention off of yourself, your personal self, and put it into your ministry. Grow a ministry, right? You want to grow, you want to be rich, but be really rich. Don't be nigger rich. I bet one of the musicians is involved. Well, the musicians didn't seem to be very, very, very bothered about it, child. Anybody. One time, my mama's house got robbed one time. I was living in California, but she told me about it, right? Some teenagers have broken into our house and stole, you know, electronics, TVs, and all that kind of stuff. This is before flat screen even. So I guess they were carrying big ass TVs out of our house, right? And she told me, she said, I haven't talked with her yet, but she accused my sister of having teenagers in that house at one point. Because she said, ain't no way in hell that them people would have known what was in this house unless they had been in here. And years later, we find out that yes, a couple of her friends stopped by on the way to a party, and the niggas they had with them was casing her house. It's generally speaking somebody who knows the layout, right? Them boys was in and out, went right to the stage. It seemed like he already knew what time it was when it came through the door, right? I don't think he was all that interested in the congregation. He hit the floor to protect himself. Bishop looked greedy enough to pull an insurance job. I'm way behind. Okay, I got you. What about church security? Church security in a storefront. So that's like Jay Wilson had church security over his weenie roast girl. He had the dinner with this armed security guard over him watching the child. He said he's gonna change it up now. Child, it's an easy way to change it up. Stop wearing all that shit to church. Nobody want to see your bling bling. Hell, I'm trying to pay my own goddamn bill. You trying to coax money out of my pocket, and you sitting up here dripping in diamonds and pink sunglasses. Why is he wearing all that pink? Whatever. So now we know he's a homophobe, so we can talk about him much as we want to. He gonna learn that same lesson that Kim Burrell learned about fucking with these people on social media. What about the guy sitting in the corner? Everybody saw that guy. Tim, what about the guy sitting in the corner with his Bible on his lap? He didn't even close it. So cool and calm and collected. He didn't uncross his legs. He didn't pull up his hands. He didn't, what happened? What happened? Or he didn't climb on the floor. He didn't do nothing. It's almost like he anticipated it, wasn't it? Right? If the man's known that honey, they've had so many church scandals. Y'all remember that dude? Who was that dude, that country preacher? He had then murdered his wife, blamed it on his stepson. I forget what that dude's name was. He robbed the church. Then he went and burned the church up for insurance money. He tricked the stepson to help him murder his mama. That's what I recall. Put nothing past these people. The depravity of men. The angel of the church. He didn't protect him, child. He said he works with gangbangers and so forth. And he was proud about the rappers. So this is how he fashions himself behind. Although he seems a little long in the tooth be playing the rap game. But he dresses just like him. When you see him riding around his Rolls Royce, he has on every damn label you can think of. Everything is a Fendi, everything, and the kind that has the letters all over it and stuff, child. How are you going to convince me that you're actually concerned about the workings of Jesus Christ? You're there for a paycheck, right? We don't know or how you're getting the money, but I would be willing to bet you that there's trickeration behind this $50,000 offer as well. There's something behind that. Either you're going to try to raise money on the back of it, or it is a diversion from the case to throw them off. We don't know, but I think there's trickeration behind that. But him hollering and screaming and going off on Larry Reid is not helping this case at all, John. All you're going to do, you're going to make everybody hate you. He said he defended Larry Reid's honor. He said the boys were saying stuff. I said, no, I don't know that about him. I don't know that. Niggas sitting up here in the pink glasses, girl, and big pink shirts. Anyway, people, I couldn't resist that. I just thought that was so funny to hear the pastors going in. There was also a lady involved there. I don't forget her name, but he insulted her, disrespected. He talked hollering about all the respect he got while he disrespects everybody on the stage. Hi, Charles Dawson. Yes, Bishop knew what time it was when the robbers came in. He bringing all the street pimp flamboyant and hustling into the pulpit. Yes, he is, child. I know one goddamn thing. He was not confused about what his position when they came through that door. Now, if you see somebody come through the door with guns, wouldn't you assume they coming to shoot everybody? How would you jump to the conclusion that they coming to rob you? They after me. They after me. How did you know that? You just knew it on intuition, right? By the time you got up off the ground, sir, the people were already walking out the door. So how did you see them pointing a gun at either one of them? Was that the plan? They're supposed to point the gun at them? This story is not over. You know, hopefully no one will get hurt because they are a witness to this bullshit. I don't know, Ms. G. Ms. G said, Jay Wilson said he out of town. Y'all think he was the one paid? Child, Jay Wilson ain't got the balls to rob a baby, honey. The baby slapped shit out of Jay Wilson. This stunt might have scared half the congregation away. They're coming back. You can believe that shit. Anytime they can rob you and get hit like that and get away with it, that means they're going to come back or they're going to send somebody else. See, most of it is about sending somebody else. When people came to rob me when I was selling drugs, it was never the people who I knew. It was somebody else that told them my information. People, how in the hell would they even know what room I was in, right? So I already knew that somebody else sent them there, right? Whenever you set up, they set you up by using somebody else. And he said he's dealing with ex-gangbangers and rappers and all these people all day. That's his ministry. Each one of them knows somebody, right? Whatever. Keep on wearing a diamond encrusted chains, John. It ain't like you were at the Grammy, sir. I mean, you're mad at these people for laughing at your church because you got them banners up there. But that was a pretty shoddy operation there, sir. I mean, seriously. If you're going to be broadcasting live, just buy a green screen. And you can put any kind of picture you want. You can put the Taj Mahal behind you if you want to, John. Something look decent. That was another embarrassment. And you got mad at him for laughing at that. How they going to not laugh at it, child? It was pitiful. You got to know that's pitiful. You put all this, girl, you could have decorated the whole damn church, child, with the price you paid for one of them pinky rings. Mm-hmm. Give that Cash App again, please. Oh, y'all didn't post the Cash App? Oh, y'all want mine? I ain't got no problem giving it to you, baby. There it is. Soul Sister got it. That was good entertainment, though. I never seen that. He actually got Larry going, though, at one point. He said, wait a minute, nigga. The pastors, they beat us out this time. All right, y'all. Thanks for coming in. It's posted on Thais has it up, has the whole video up if you want to see it. I think King Job's talking about it too, but Thais has the whole uninterrupted IG up. Okay. Thank y'all. Have a good night. Good night, Charles Dawson. Everybody. Good night, Soul Sister #1 show. Hi, 420 King. Good to see you, brother. I appreciate y'all. Later.